Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 5 Virusamid levels, so in this part, I'll start out by covering one more Virusamid level, which is All Bosses in One Room featuring Ice and Time Man by That Dangerous D-Pad, 20 plays and a score of -4. Kinda strange considering that the first edition of All Bosses in One Room was more positively received in comparison to this one. Also, good note, that fade to black down there indicates a bottomless pit. I wonder why it's here, but oh well. As always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a part like this one, please leave the level name and level ID in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. And as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for every level I cover in this part. So first off, we're going to be fighting every single boss that's present in this engine. So let's figure out whose weaknesses are which. Don't worry, I'll die a few times before I figure it out. That's why I will retry the stage near the end because I want to refill my weapon energy. It seems that one of the enemies is really weak against the dive missile. I'm gonna try the hyper bomb because it's really easy to hit stuff with it. Is anyone weak? Should I go for it? Sure, let's go for it. Dive missile time. Well, I'm hitting something, but I'm not sure who's weak against what, unfortunately. I think it's Iceman, but I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna die here. That's the only unfortunate thing about this, is that you can't tell who's who and who's weak against which because of all the craziness that's happening. Oh, never mind. Each boss can have their own separate weakness, it seems. And unfortunately, I need to exit and restart the stage because if I do retry, it doesn't respawn all the E and M tanks, unfortunately. So the retry button is kind of a lie. Should I try the Ice Slasher? Sure, let's try everything and see who's weak against what. Time Man seems to be a really weak one, so let's go for him. Yeah, let's go for him. He seems to be the one dying the quickest. That seems to be the best strategy. Pick a specific World Master, figure out what his weakness is, and use his weakness to defeat the bosses rapidly. And it does pierce quite quickly, so that makes it a lot easier too. There we go. We've won. And we've died. Because the other unfortunate thing is that if you kill a boss, the pause menu is locked up, so you can't use it again. Which is really unfortunate because it forces me to restart the stage again. I guess that's why I got a score of -4, because there's a bit of trial and error involved, figuring out who's weak against what. I guess each Roadmaster is weak against a unique special weapon, but I don't want to try all of them out. I'll just use this Ice Slasher against Time Man and use that to win. Plus, each Roadmaster has their own damage values for contact damage. That is something you need to keep an eye on. So when Time Man is almost dead, I will be using an M-Tank. There we go. Now it's time, so I survive. After all, Stone Man deals a lot more contact damage in comparison to something like Plant Man. So that's the end of this stage. It's more of a concept level showcasing how crazy a boss encounter can be. So I can't really give this a thumbs up, but it's a nice design in a way. Or it's a nice aesthetic in a way. Well, actually I gave the first level a thumbs up, so for that reason alone I probably should be giving this a thumbs up. But it's really more for a concept of how crazy some of the levels can be. I would like to see this taken to be in an actual level of sorts, where you have to fight many enemies at once, or many bosses at once, and dump them into a pit or something. So as promised, I'll be now playing through a bunch of levels that popped up in the most popular queue. Starting up with this one. That infamous boss from Mega Man 2 Wily 4, but it's the opposite of the situation, by H3 Pro. 38 plays and a score of 16. Sorry, the title kind of tripped me up over there. 4 E-Tanks, Crash Bomber, and Rush Coil. Oh yes, I remember this one. But now we have a bunch of Crashmen instead. I guess that's why it's reversed. And their weakness is the Crash Bomber. Thanks, game. I guess that's why it's a lot easier. Well, I guess this is a nice chance for revenge, and... Wait, were there 2 Mega Man over there? It looked to be because I saw multiple teleporters. I forget the name of this particular boss, but it's a nice role reversal, especially because the Crashmen can break out of their confinements, and they're weak against their own special weaponry. Okay, third up is Grove Man by Skuja 15, 52 plays and a score of 23. At least I can count on all these levels being beatable and none of them being too much of a challenge, aka usually most challenge levels don't end up in the most popular queue. I guess this will be a traditional level. Unfortunately, we don't have custom assets yet, nor will they ever be supported. But I would like to see a Grove Man implemented into something like Magmal Tree. That would be neat to see. And based on the name, this is a forest level. Nothing too difficult so far. Although, this stage kind of assumes that you already understand how the the Shadow Man platforms work. Otherwise, you're in for a nasty surprise. And the difficulty progression is on the faster side, it seems. The difficulty seems to be ramping up pretty fast, is what I'm saying. I was hoping that the rolling cutter would be more useful against the Rabots, but unfortunately it isn't. I thought it because Rabots are nature-oriented masters or enemies, and the rolling cutter cuts down wood. One more should do it, as evidenced right here. And, okay, no boss fight here. I thought there would be a boss fight. On an unrelated note, I really hope that Mega Man 11 comes with its own level editor utility in some way. I really like how it's going away from the classic 8-bit aesthetic for something a bit different. The 8-bit aesthetic of classic Mega Man is fine, but it was getting a bit tiresome. I'd like to see a 16-bit rendition, but the 2.5D aesthetic they have going is pretty interesting to behold. As I was saying, I really hope it comes with a level editor of sorts, because it really extends the longevity of the stage, or longevity of the game. Something similar to Mega Man Powered Up, but being a little bit more flexible would be nice. One of my main complaints about Mega Man Powered Up is the stage design is a little bit too blocky. Thankfully, it seems that Mega Man 11 doesn't seem to have the same blocky aesthetic as Mega Man Powered Up has, and it doesn't have a chibi aesthetic either. Sure, I didn't mind a chibi aesthetic for Mega Man Powered Up, but I would have preferred it to be its own thing instead of being part of the mainline series. Whoa, that was a bit of a surprise there. At least it's using the whatever these are count bombs in an interesting fashion. And if you're quick enough on your feet, if you take the left route, you'll get access to an E-Tank. That I do approve of. The more skilled you are, the more you should be rewarded, either with shortcuts or goodies like E-tanks, M-tanks, W-tanks, or bolts. And this is like a traditional level because you don't need to use any special weaponry, although in some ways it's more like a fortress level because it's kind of expected you understand all these things. It's the atomic fire, let me guess. Yep, it's the atomic fire. Unfortunately, it doesn't burn right through Plant Man's flower shield. That would be really neat. So that was the end of Grove Man's stage. A pretty neat traditional / fortress level. I was half expecting some forced weapon usage, but no, there wasn't. And the gimmicks, even though the difficulty progression was a bit rapid, I really liked the second half of the stage with the descending using the count bombs. That was really neat. Forward up is Shine Experiment by TheBoltReaper, 73 plays and a score of 16. I'll keep going until I either hit 10 levels completed, or I go up to 30 minutes. So this will be a special weapons oriented stage focused on the Shine. It was already obvious by the name, of course. Oh goody, we need to use it to extend our jumps too. So I guess there's gonna be a bunch of Shine-oriented challenges. But you gotta be careful because, well, if you activate the Shine, you let go of the ladder. Slow and steady, I suppose. Where did that bullet come from? Was there a Colton off screen? I guess there was. And that's the end of the stage, and there's the Colton bullet again. Oh. I never tried this before, this is gonna be so fun. Usually it's kind of a challenge to defend against Iceman's Ice Slasher, but now we're just using his own medicine against him. Or of course we're gonna stand right into him, or we'll get hit by contact damage. Really, that's the only way Iceman can hurt me right now, contact damage. So we end up killing Iceman over there. Honestly, I would like to see the stage taken to be twice the length, but this was short but sweet. I liked it, so I will give it a thumbs up, but it's on the lower edge of actually accepting a thumbs up, because this is more of a 4.5 or 5. This feels like a nice introduction to a longer level or something. Let's move on to the 5th level. Mega Man 4 Ringman Stage, Mega Man 4 Recreation by Lennon, Jonh H. 124 plays and a score of 43. Let's see how close of it as a stage is to Ringman. Or let's see how close of a recreation it is to Ringman's stage. Well, I guess that's a nice replacement of the ring platforms, or ring lasers. I would like to see them added in version 1.2 or a future version. They were a pretty neat stage asset. Same tile set, or as close as can be, replacements for the ring platforms, and the same music. Well, I can't say anything more about the stage other than it being relatively the same as before. Oh, I remember this. This used to be the Hippo mini-boss. And we only have weaponry from Mega Man 4, so that's a plus. Plus we have the Mega Man 4 charge shot. Of course, I can just do this and skip the boss in its entirety. And originally for the Hippo mini-boss, oops, I forgot that you can get lodged under the screen. Originally for the Hippo mini-boss, you had to destroy the bottom platforms to make it in range. Or you'd have to use a special weapon in order to shoot it in range. Here, there's no dynamic tiles moving it up and down, so it's a lot easier. Plus, unlike the gyro platforms / falling platforms, the ring platforms or Ringman platforms, the rainbow laser platforms, they will respawn if they get destroyed. Still, it seems to be a relatively accurate recreation, although personally I feel like the stage was a bit longer before we fought the Hippo mini-boss. Then again, my memory is kinda spotty with Mega Man 4. It's been a long while since I last played Mega Man 4. I do remember finding a second Hippo mini-boss though. That is accurate. Unfortunately, we only have 2 mini-bosses in this engine currently. The Power Musclers, as well as the Hot Dogs. I'm not sure if this room existed in the original level, but regardless, this is a nice usage for a rush coil. I see, this is a different variation of the rainbow lasers, and it's quite neat using the Shadow Man platforms like this. Though you gotta be a bit careful when moving because you can easily activate a Shadow Man platform that you don't want to activate. Oh well. Like here for example. If this was the rainbow laser platform, you would have more leeway to go left or a little bit more time. But here, because these are Shadow Man platforms, you have to be a lot quicker. At least the checkpoint placement is accurate. Originally there used to be ring rings over there, so instead we have lyrics. Although the lyrics are a bit faster than the ring rings were. I'd rather just repeatedly jump over here instead of just sliding because it feels more consistent. I get the feeling there is a missing part of the stage over here that was omitted due to a lack of engine assets. Oh well, it did feel fateful in a way, but I guess it works. And we fight Cutman. I think Topman would be a better boss encounter, but we don't have access to the original Ringman anyway. And his weakness is the fair shot. Just like Ringman, I think. Although I may be misremembering because I don't remember the Mega Man 4 boss weakness order. So I guess that's it. I guess I'll give it a thumbs up because it tries to be as faithful as possible. Although the replacement with all of those gyro platforms and Shadow Man platforms for the Brightman laser platforms, I mean the Ringman laser platforms, does make the latter half of the stage a lot more challenging. And nonetheless, it felt fun and it felt faithful enough, so I will give it a thumbs up. And it wasn't too difficult, it had the proper checkpoint placement, and the difficulty, even though it was a little bit more difficult, was fine. Okay, Moonkase e Suas Aventuras Fase 1 Atos 1 E2 by Nanatsu no Taizai fan. 7 plays and a score of 5. And I probably horribly butchered the title as well as the level creator's name. My apologies. I saw 1E2, so I guess this is a reference to a TV show? It looks to be. Okay, it's a gimmick stage with a crash bomber. 2 bomb type weapons as well as the charge kick. That's good to know. Really generous life pickups too. I don't think we really need 4 life energy pickups, large ones that is. The stage isn't that difficult. Especially with weaponry like the crash bomber. Oh, okay, so that one earlier indicated I was in the first segment. This indicates I'm in the second segment, with a lot of drops for some reason. We could have just used a teleporter in order to teleport deeper into the mines or whatever. After all, there already are Galaxy Man teleporters in this stage. Well, it seems that this stage's main gimmick is enemy spam, and using Crash Power to deal with them, and all these sorts of springs. And really generous checkpoint placement and life drops. No large weapon energy drops for whatever reason though. Let me guess, Bombman is weak against his own weapon. I don't know what to say about this stage. I find it really odd how such a bland stage got on the most popular queue. I guess the title is a reference to something. It only got a score of 5, so it's probably something popular that I'm missing. Alright, 7th up is Kll Him Fast by Sneaky, 20 plays and a score of 5. Really short stage too. Okay, Sparkman. I was hoping it was a bottomless pit down there. Oh. I see, I need to jump down immediately with Sparkman so I can actually kill him. That's neat. I guess. I see, I need to launch myself with the correct momentum so I can actually kill him correctly. Otherwise, it's probably a bottomless pit. And I can do stuff like this in order to make the difficulty a lot easier. I thought I had to be at the same elevation, but no. I just need to be under him. Oh. Figures, I knew that was gonna happen. Well, I failed the stage. Now I know what I need to do. I need to kill Sparkman as quickly as possible so I don't fall into the spike pit. So get over here, repeatedly shoot at him, and hope I killed him fast enough. Please, thank you. Well, that's a neat gimmick, but I wish it was taken a bit further. It's a little bit Kaizo-ish, but at least the stage told us that it was going to happen, that we need to kill Sparkman fast. I just wish there was a warning sign or something, that there was a bottomless pit over there or spikes. Alright, 8 up, my first real level by AlexKid282, 18 plays and a score of 5. Another short level. Another one of these first levels that has somewhat random placement of gimmicks and whatever else. And of course, Mega Man 5 charge shot. Well, at least this stage is doing something with all the count bombs. Oh. Would have been nice to know that it wasn't a bottomless pit there. And it would be nice to actually have a background. Because there are just so many blind jumps in this stage. Like over there, I thought that would be just a bottomless pit, but no. There is actually ground there. Well, I guess it's time to use the shine to reflect everything. Never mind, the shine itself is his weakness. And I end up dying because I misjudged my life bar. That's a little bit embarrassing with this simple stage, especially because I forgot I have access to the M-tanks. Well, I have nothing more to say about this stage. At least it's slightly marginally better than the usual real level stages that are posted to the popular queue, which have no rhyme or reason. Let's try something a bit different. Only Ride by Fercracktrifirce with 120 plays and a score of 35. If this level takes long enough, over about 5 minutes, this will be the last level I'll cover. Okay, oil slider. Let's hope it's not as difficult as the previous part's oil island. Or rather, oil snowboard. Bunch of jumping challenges. We went on the right, now we're going left. That was a bit close over there. So different segments with different enemies. Fine with me. Now we need to Goomba stomp all of these Crystal Joes. And now we fight Time Man. That was a really short stage. Thankfully his weakness is the oil slider. And I end up dying because I misjudged my jumping. Oh, well, there's no checkpoint for this stage, so that's an automatic minus. There should have been one just before the fight against Time Man. I mean, that's classic Mega Man design. Well, that was a rather short stage. I was hoping for something a bit longer, but I guess it got so high because it cleverly used the oil slider. This makes me want more of the stage, and it felt like it ended too abruptly for me. Alright, 10th and final level of this part is The Sky Adventure by Mega Baba Bear 5. 54 plays and a score of 12. I guess this will be a rush jet oriented stage, a bit of a longer one judging by the loading times. I'm getting better at judging the level lengths based off the loading times, although it can be a bit misleading if there are a lot of different pathways. Airman's team, only Mega Man 2 physics, that being no sliding, no charging. Let's see if it's a traditional level or a challenge level, or a special weapons oriented stage. So far so good. The only thing I see about this stage is that we're getting introduced or have various enemies thrown at us in a gauntlet. Nothing else about this stage seems unique. It's just enemy gauntlet after enemy gauntlet. No platforming challenges at all. And the environment is getting varied up just a little bit, but still. There is no platforming challenges at all of them are enemy based. Really easy enemy based challenges as well. I guess that's why we have all these special weaponry, because we need it in order to deal with some of the enemies. Especially the ones that are clumped up on top of each other. Really, I have nothing more to say about this stage, other than the fact it's a enemy gauntlet, with little to no platforming. Alright, now we have some platforming. But no enemies now. This would be the perfect place to put some enemies to put some challenge there. And yet there are no enemies here. Whereas the rest of the stage had enemies. Very, very odd. Sometimes the levels that get, or a lot of times the levels that get on the most popular queue or the trending queue don't have that much uniqueness or good design, they just have some clever thing that people like. Like we saw that with the oil stage. Well, I survived. I was worried I was gonna die over there. I honestly can't give this stage a thumbs up either. It's just too, well, bland. It's too short. I guess because it got a certain score like here, over 5, it got on the trending list. Really, this set of most popular queue levels is kind of on the lacking side. Most of these levels I won't give a thumbs up on. They just felt like they got there due to luck, or some reference, or really short, clever, but fun gimmick. Like, Oily Ride was fun, but I would like to see it taken further. So honestly, my favorite level of this part would be either a tie between Mega Man 4 Ringman Stage Recreation or Grove Man. But the second stage over here is the Recreation, so it half counts, and the only real original stage that came up over here was Grove Man itself, which was a fun traditional Mega Man level, a forest type stage. And that isn't really saying much because the rest of the stages kind of left me wanting more, were disappointing, or felt like they got on the most popular queue due to randomness or other things, like what we saw with my first real level, Moonkase, and the Sky Adventure, which were rather bland levels, with nothing to separate them. At the very least, we have Infamous Boss, Shine Experiment, Kll Him Fast. They all did something different, same with Oil Ride, they all did at least something different from the norm. So in summary, it'd probably be Grove Man as my final favorite level. Mega Man 4 Ringman Stage for being an honorable mention. So in the next part, well, I'll probably be covering a bunch of levels on the Mega Man Maker official Discord. I'm hoping to start covering levels from the Mega Man Maker official competition, but I'm still working out the kinks on how I'll let's play through all the levels. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!